Hi everyone, welcome back to OPDA. As promised, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about data standards and why they're so important to our work. In the last episode, I talked about property information not being available in a digital format and how that stops customers being able to access the data they need, and that it also stops industry from easily sharing data with each other with trust. The standards for digitising data have been around as long as the internet, and the concept of an open data standard first emerged in 2007, when smartphones started to become popular. An open standard just means that the standard is published and free for everyone to use. That doesn't mean that the data is free, but it means that the way the data is structured is openly available and adopted by everyone. Fair data principles were formally introduced in 2016, initially for scientific research and then for big tech. And these standards underpin everything that we access online and through our mobile apps today. Fair data is like a trust mark so that customers and organisations know that the data they're accessing is in the right format, meets best practice and the data protection regulations. Commitment to adopting these standards was announced by the UK government as part of the National Data Strategy in 2020. And open standards underpin some of the most basic things we use every day. For example, the very humble British plug and socket. Every electrical goods manufacturer uses a standard 3-pin plug, and you know, as a customer, that that plug will fit in any standard 3-pin socket in your house. It's not exciting, and the standard isn't very interesting to read, but it does stop us having the chaos we'd have if these standards didn't exist. It's bad enough having different adapters for our phones and laptops. And before I joined the mortgage industry in 2005, I worked in travel and then in utilities, both of which were early adopters of data standards. So this is one of my favourite analogies. Every airline around the world and every airport have to use the same standards, from the 3-letter code that we use for the airport, the way we identify the aircraft, the information that's included in the ticket, the QR code on your boarding pass that gets you through security, and how all of the airlines connect to air traffic control. Can you imagine what it would be like to travel if every airline did it differently and used their own format for the airport code rather than the standard 3 letters? Or if every airline had its own ticketing system and format so that they had to have unique security gates? It would just be carnage. And that lack of standards is what we have in the property market today. So it's no wonder that things don't flow smoothly when we're buying a house. And this is why OPDA exists, to make sure that our sources of data are digitised to a common standard and meet those fair data principles, to make sure that consumers have access to the data that they need when they need it, and they know that they can trust and share that data with confidence. And we work to implement those standards across the whole of the property and mortgage industry to make sure that we improve transparency, remove inefficiency, speed up transactions, and that we deliver a better home experience for everyone. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time.